Just want to give a huge shout out to whoever advised Kamala to do more interviews. You did this country a huge service. Oh, boy. Yeah, man. You just can't make this up, man. You just can't make this up, man. Man. But we know who's gonna actually drop the fries. We know who's gonna actually drop the fries. Cause we know she wasn't dropping no fries. She was Mr. Willie. With had Mr. Willie's Willie in her hand. That's what she was dropping it on. From what can be unburdened, from what has been unburdened, from what the significance of a passage of time of the two coconuts that fell out of a coconut tree, to the dreams and aspirations of the middle class, and how we used to roll that lawnmower out on Thursdays. Yeah, comrade, communist, Kamala, chameleon, Kamala. Not looking good for her, ladies and gentlemen. Not looking good. You know? Not looking good at all. This is bad. This is, man. But what did I tell y'all? The more they put her out there, the more you put her out on camera, the worse it will be. They were better off hiding their puppet. I tried to tell them. I wish somebody would have came and cut, and we did over 1,000 videos on it. And just took those small clips of me talking and saying they don't want to send her out there. It's going to get worse. I said it. I predicted this months ago. I said if they keep putting her out there, this is it. She's going to blow the transmission and motor just like Joe did on the debate stage. Her check engine light is already on. But see, some people, that check engine light be on. They don't go scan it. They don't go check on it. They just keep riding, you know. You just keep riding, and then all of a sudden you hear some kind of noise. All the lights come on, and it just stop in the middle of the freeway. In the middle of the freeway, there's smoke coming out the exhaust pipe. You know, there's smoke in the front. It's leaking oil. Yeah. You see what happened to Joe? And I'm going to just step aside. No, you were defeated, sir. You were defeated. And they walked in there and said, hey, Trump won. And he's walking back in this office. So we can do this the easy way or the hard way, Mr. Joseph. Get Brandon on the phone. And we're going to send you on a nice vacation. Pelosi came in there with them wines. Hillary came in there with that bottle of hot sauce. Yeah. Obama came in there sweating and smiling. He been sweating this whole campaign. Sweating. Barry. Somebody get Barry a towel. Somebody get... Is that Big Mike? Is that lip gloss? Or ketchup? Is that lip gloss or ketchup, Big Mike? Somebody get her a towel too. She's sweating too. Yeah. And you know what I tell them? Hands behind your back. Everybody. A lot of people need to be held accountable. Judges, DAs, we can go down the list, you know, of the corruption. Coming after your political opponent. Everything the sham trials. And now look at stuff being dismissed, overturned. You know, I told y'all the truth is going to shine in the lights, whether you like it or not. But what they've done to President Trump is an absolute disgrace. What they've done to America is an absolute disgrace. Incompetent people. They told us to stay woke. It's ridiculous, man. And now look how everything is backfired. Look at all the scams that have hit the light. Look at everything. The corrupt scam matrix is what we're living in. They throwing the banana peels. It's kangaroos jumping at the intersection, jumping up and down at the red light. You look to your left and say, what the hell is going on? This is America. Is kangaroos here now? What the? Ah. Now they want to throw they already threw the laptop. Russia, Russia, Russia. Throw the laptop out in the middle of the street. Throw the tampons out. They want tampons out in the middle of the street. I don't know. I just, people already slipping on bananas. Anyways, let me get into the video. Let me stop all this talking. I've been talking too much, man. We just did a video covering this interview, man. At this point, I just don't know, man. All I can know is we're doing such an amazing job to all our beautiful patriots around the world. I pray and hope it's too big to Rick, because I feel like we have done such an amazing job this year. We've done I'm telling you, such an amazing job. Thank y'all for all the love and support. And I pray it's too big to Rick, man. We have woken up so many people, man. We've exposed the corruption. And this is one reason why they don't want Trump alive. And they are panicking because he is alive. They're panicking because he's not in prison and because he is breathing. And you send this lady out there and she bombs softballs. Every time she speaks, they actually gain thousands and thousands of new voters every time she comes out. Woo! Whoa.
I love you, temperance! Oh my God! Oh, Jesus!
He's so stupid, bro.
Oh my God.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Benny. I never thought I'd say this, but I actually wanted the Kamala Harris interview on Fox News to go longer. Please keep talking. What we saw tonight was the end of Kamala Harris's campaign. It's done. It's over. It's finished. The fat lady has sung, "You're out of here." I've never seen anything as bad as this. I've never seen a presidential candidate self-destruct. It's like the Titanic hit the Hindenburg and they collapsed together in a fiery ball at the bottom of the ocean. It's a unmitigated disaster for Kamala Harris. This entire interview summed up in one little meme here. Oh, and the memes are absolutely savage. The clips are just unbelievable from this Brett Baer interview. What? How could they have possibly ever allowed this to happen? Because they're panicking, because they're losing. These are the behaviors of a loser. JD Vance, to my Democratic friends, maybe you should reconsider swapping Kamala Harris for Joe Biden. Maybe you should consider swapping Kamala Harris for Joe Biden.
We love JD, man. Again, man, every single day, more and more people, even Democrats, lifelong Democrats, everybody, they tried to say this and that and spin everything when he first got picked. And then some of the things he came out and said, they tried to spin him for being pro-family. And, people thought he was this and that. And then everybody has fell in love with him, especially after that debate with Tampon Tim as he mopped the floor with them. A lot of people have latched on to JD Vance, man, and everybody loves him more and more every single day. And now they see why he was chosen as the VP pick.
Oh, yeah, baby. We've made a mistake. We've made a horrible, horrible mistake. Absolute disaster. Okay, men aren't going to vote for this. Let me just begin by saying men ain't voting for a lady who's like screaming and shaking and wagging her finger at Brett Baer. Wagging her finger at Brett Baer is a total disaster for Kamala Harris. Listen to how seething angry she gets at them.
Talked about locking people up because they disagree with him. This is a democracy. And in a democracy, the president of the United States, in the United States of America, should be willing to be able to handle criticism without saying he'd lock people up for doing it.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's not the behavior of somebody you want with a nuclear arsenal or any arsenal. That's not the behavior of somebody that you'd want bagging your groceries at Whole Foods which is probably what Kamala Harris has the stamina and the merit to like. That's it. That's the job that she's qualified for, not being president. She proved it tonight. Kamala's staff standing off camera, forcing Bret Baier to wrap the interview. That's how bad things are going. Unreal. What did it look like off camera? Off camera, you had Kamala Harris's staff. They had to cut the interview short. That's what a nightmare was.
And they're giving me a hard rap
Well,
here.
I thank you for the time.
I thank you for the time.
It's good to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, man. Everybody across the internet
Wrap
saying
it up,
Kamala
wrap it
Harris
up.
is done. Do any insights have a line on who Kamala Harris is firing after the Bret Baier interview? How bad did it go? Kamala Harris says, you and I both know what we're talking about, Brett. This is how she's used to doing interviews. And Bret Baier goes, no, actually, I don't know what you're talking about. It was amazing. No gotcha questions, just actual journalism.
On the wrong track. They say the country is on the wrong track. If it's on the wrong track, that track follows 3.5 years of you being vice president and President Biden being president. That is what they're saying, 79% of them. Why are they saying that? If you're turning the page, you've been in office for 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Come on.
Madam
You
Vice
and I
President.
both know what I'm talking about. You and I both know what I'm talking about.
I actually don't. What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is that over the last decade,
Savage.
But you're
people
the
have
lever of
become,
power.
but
Just cooked. Just cooked. Okay, Kamala Harris is done.
Absolute disgrace, man. It's
Going
over.
out for the Kamala Harris staffers who came up with the idea of doing a Fox News interview. Kamala's
They thought Brett was gonna be a cheerleader like the last 20 interviews. Boy,
team watching the interview right now. Kamala is not feeling the joy. Oh, baby. Kamala's getting absolutely cooked on Fox News right now. It's the closest thing Kamala Harris has ever been to working with the fries. Oh, man. Trump should just play Kamala Harris's interview in the background during the debate. What would you see? Oh, you'd see brutality like that.
One from the Trump campaign has gotten a lot of attention.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. Every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
I want to make this very clear. All Bret Baier's doing is asking Kamala Harris to defend her positions. Kamala Harris, defend your positions. You're the one running for office. You're the one who said all these things. Here's clips of you saying it. Here's Trump's attack ads. Defend yourself. And what does Kamala say?
So are you still in support of using taxpayer dollars to help prison inmates or detained illegal aliens to transition to another gender?
I will follow the law. And it's a law that Donald Trump actually followed. You're probably familiar with, now it's a public report, that under Donald Trump's administration, these surgeries were available on a medical necessity basis to people in the federal prison system. And I think, frankly, that ad from the Trump campaign is a little bit of like throwing stones when you're living in a glass house.
The Trump aides say that he never advocated for that prison policy and no gender transition surgeries
you know what? You got to
happened
take
during
responsible for what
his
happened in your
presidency.
administration.
Yeah, no.
Oh, you got to be responsible for what happened in your administration. Wait a tick. Kamala Harris is the one who let in all of the murderers who've been murdering Americans in her open border policies. Yet Kamala Harris she just said, you got to be responsible for what happened in your administration. Well, then you're responsible for all the American deaths that have occurred because of your open borders. Bret Baier starting off with absolute smoke on that question. Here we go.
How many illegal immigrants would you estimate your administration has released into the country over the last 3.5 years?
Well, I'm glad you raised the issue of immigration because I agree with you. It is a topic of discussion that people want to rightly have. And you know what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, but
right now,
just a
which
number.
is-
Do you think it's 1 million, 3 million?
Brett, let's just get to the point. Okay, the point is that we have a broken immigration system that needs to be repaired.
So your
And-
Homeland Security Secretary said that 85% of apprehensions.
I'm not finished. We have
It's a
an
rough
immigration
estimate of
system
6 million people
that
have been
needs to be-
released into the country. And let me just finish. I'll get to the question, I promise you.
I was beginning to answer.
And when you came into office, your administration immediately reversed a number of Trump border policies. most significantly, the policy that required illegal immigrants to be detained through deportation, either in the U.S. or in Mexico. And you switched that policy. They were released from custody awaiting trial. So instead, included in those were a large number of single men, adult men, who went on to commit heinous crimes. So, looking back, do you regret the decision to terminate Remain in Mexico at the beginning of your administration?
At the beginning of our administration, within practically hours of taking the oath, the first bill that we offered Congress, before we worked on infrastructure, before the Inflation Reduction Act, before the Chips and Science Act, before the bipartisan Safer Communities Act, the first bill, practically within hours of taking the oath, was a bill to fix our immigration system.
Yes, ma'am. It was called the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021.
Exactly.
It was essentially a pathway to citizenship for the... Yes, ma'am.
May I finish responding, please? But you have to let me finish,
You
please.
had the White House and the House and the Senate, and they didn't bring up that bill.
I'm in the middle of responding to the point you're raising, and I'd like to finish.
Yes, ma'am.
We recognized from day one that, to the point of this being your first question, it is a priority for us as a nation and for the American people.
That's it, bro.
And our focus has been on fixing a problem. And from day one, then, we have done a number of things.
Guys, the Titanic didn't sink as bad. The Hindenburg didn't explode as horrifically or skin and flesh meltingly as bad as this Kamala Harris interview. I've never seen anything like it. It's the end of her. It's the end of her career. It's the end of her campaign. It's that bad. Kamala Harris, when asked to respond to mothers who've lost their daughters because of criminal aliens who murdered them, she says this: "Oh, I'm sorry for your loss, but, you witch." Watch.
And this election in 20 days will determine whether we have a president of the United States who actually cares more about fixing a problem, even if it is not to their political advantage in an election, because there was a solution, Brett.
Madam Vice President, it was a policy decision in the early part of your administration. I will let one of the mothers talk about it. Take a listen.
Because of the Biden-Harris administration open border policies catch and release, they were enrolled in the Alternatives to Detention program. This meant that they were released into the United States. It was not even a full 3 weeks later that they would take my daughter, Jocelyn Nungare's life. I believe the Biden-Harris administration open border policies are responsible for the death of my daughter.
That's the early days. So do you owe them an apology is what I'm saying.
I will tell you that I am so sorry for her loss. I am so sorry for her loss. Sincerely. But let's talk about what is happening right now with an individual who does not want to participate in solutions. Let's talk about that as well.
But do you want to answer
in all fairness, I told you I feel awful for what she and her family have experienced.
During that time.
How bad is the Kamala Harris interview? The Trump campaign said our new ad just dropped, and it's just the whole Kamala Harris interview.
Can't make it up.
That's it. Trump campaign saying this is our new ad. By the way, this interview should have gone on for an hour. They called it after 20 minutes.
20 minutes,
Throw
y'all.
in the towel. Throw in the towel. Live
20
reenactment
minutes.
of Kamala Harris's Brett Baer interview. Throw in the towel. Oh, man. Brett Baer says that Kamala Harris staffers started frantically waving their hands, trying to force him to end the interview. Look at this. Kamala Harris, I'm not in favor of giving criminal illegal aliens sex changes or driver's license. Brett Baer, then why did you bring on Tim Walz as your running mate when those are things he signed into law?
And there have been changes, and you've talked about some of them. When it comes to immigration, you supported allowing immigrants in the country illegally to apply for driver's license, to qualify for free tuition at universities, to be enrolled in free health care. Do you still support those things?
Listen, that was 5 years ago, and I'm very clear that I will follow the law. I have made that statement over and over again, and as Vice President of the United States, that's exactly what I've done, not to mention before.
if that's the case, you chose a running mate, Tim Walz, who governor of Minnesota, who signed those very things into state law. So do you support that?
We are.
That man, boy. Yeah. I honestly think they might not send her out on any more interviews. Somebody from the staff's getting fired. I mean, this is it, man. This is it. Look at the body language. Just look, y'all. It's over with, man. I think any more videos we make now is just increasing Trump's lead by even bigger margins.
Are very clear, and I'm very clear, as is Tim Walz, that we must.
With that?
Look at this. Look at that expression. Look at that. Look at that expression. Oh, she knows. She knows.
Yep.
She knows. It's such a flipping nightmare. This is, I mean, every meme on my timeline right now. The advisor who suggested Kamala Harris interview Fox News. Fuck. 97% of Americans say you effed up. Kamala, Trump has been running for office. She's just completely too stupid to run for president. She's just too stupid to run for president. Brett Baer afterwards saying that there were 4 staffers running up to him, screaming at him to stop talking to Kamala Harris. I had to dismount at the end, says Brett Baer. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a wrap. Oh man, it's a disaster. What a nightmare. Kamala Harris down bad. I mean, Kamala Harris is already losing. Okay. She's already had a horrible week of polling, but you can see in just the expressions. Look at these expressions. You can see not only is she losing, she's collapsing. The Kamala lapse, the collapse is here. The Kamala lapse is here, and it's glorious. Oh man, and it's beautiful. Nothing about Kamala Harris. I said nothing about this has been beautiful. This, ladies and gentlemen, was beautiful. Thank you.
That's it, man. Can't make it up. You shout out to Benny, man. What y'all think? Comment down below. We're gonna continue to bring you guys amazing videos, man. And I told you, it's gonna be too big to rig, man. One love to the human race, man. Y'all keep spreading that love. Check on your loved ones. Give them a hug. Text them. Call them for me. Because you just never know. You never know what somebody's going through, man. You never know what's next in these dark times that we live in, man. Y'all keep being amazing leaders, mentors. Shout out to all our parents out there. Our grandparents, our family, our friends, the neighbors, the strangers around the world. Once again, one love to the human race. And we're praying for a change, man. We're praying for too big to rig. We're praying for President Trump, his family, his team, his campaign, his safety. We don't know what to expect next in these dark times that we're living in, man. These corrupt times, man. It's corrupt scam matrix, y'all. Corrupt. No matter which way you look at it. Sorry. But I'll catch y'all on the next one, man. Peace and love, y'all.